We just had the 2018 midterm elections. Thanks to this administration's leadership, all 50 states and more than 1,400 local election jurisdictions focused on election security like never before. DHS provided resources to localities for better cybersecurity, and private social media companies monitored their own platforms for foreign intelligence interference. Thanks to efforts across the federal government in 2018, we were ready. That clearly is progress. The Mueller report will help us. So will the upcoming report from the Select Committee on Intelligence. These threats and challenges are real. Our responsibility to strengthen America is serious, and it requires serious work. But speaking of seriousness is not what we've seen from the Democratic Party in recent days. Not serious. What we've seen is a meltdown, an absolute meltdown, an inability to accept the bottom line conclusion on Russian interference from the special counsel's report, which said the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in its election interference activities. That's the conclusion. 2 years of exhaustive investigation and nothing to establish the fanciful conspiracy theory that Democratic politicians and TV talking heads had treated like a foregone conclusion. They told everyone there had been a conspiracy between Russia and the Trump campaign. Yet on this central question, the special counsel's finding is clear. Case closed. Case closed. This ought to be good news for everyone. But my Democratic colleagues seem to be publicly working through the 5 stages of grief. First stage is denial. Remember what happened when the Attorney General released his preliminary letter describing the special counsel's bottom line legal conclusion? Denial. Immediately, totally baseless speculation that perhaps Attorney General Barr hadn't quoted the report properly. But then, Madam President, comes stage 2, anger. Anger. Welcome to Washington in recent days. The Democrats are angry. Angry that the facts disappointed them. Angry that our legal system will not magically undo the 2016 election for them. And they've opted to channel all their partisan anger onto the Attorney General. Onto the Attorney General. They seem to be angrier at Bill Barr for doing his job than they are at Vladimir Putin. This is a distinguished public servant whose career stretches back almost 50 years. He's widely respected. Nobody claims he has any prior personal allegiance to this particular president. And why are they angry? Why are they angry? Did the Attorney General fire the special counsel or force him to wind down prematurely? No. Did he sit on the Mueller report and keep it secret? No. He quickly reported out its bottom line legal conclusions and then released as much as possible for the world to see. Did he use redactions? Did he use redactions to mislead the public? No. Working with the special counsel's team, he released as much as possible within standard safeguards. So it's hard to see, Madam President, the source of the anger. Maybe our Democrat colleagues are thinking of some strange new kind of cover-up, where you take the entire thing you're supposedly covering up and post it on the internet. The claims get more and more utterly absurd. Baseless accusations of perjury, laughable threats of impeachment. Look, we all know what's going on here. This whole angry barrage that Democrats had prepared to unleash on President Trump, except the facts let them down. The facts let them down. And so the left has swung all of these cannons around and fired them at the Attorney General. Not for any legitimate reason, just because he's a convenient target. So look, Madam President, there's this outrage industrial complex. Outrage industrial complex that spans from Capitol press conferences to cable news. They're grieving. They're grieving that the national crisis they spent 2 years wishing for did not materialize. But for the rest of the country, this is good news. Bad news for the outrage industrial complex, but good news for the country.